Welcome. I'm here with another story that occurred on Thursday night. Thursday night of Holy Week is also called Maundy Thursday. And that's because Jesus, when he instituted the Lord's Supper, gave the command to keep doing the Lord's Supper as often as they could. And that's what Maundy means. It means command. And during that supper, he told his disciples that someone at the table was going to betray Jesus. And we know who that was. That was Judas. So he left the table to do what he needed to do. But then Jesus also predicted something else during that meal. He predicted that Peter would deny him 3 times before the rooster crowed. And Peter had denied, saying he would never, ever do that. But we're going to find out what happens in our story today. And it's Peter denies Jesus. After eating the Passover meal, Jesus led his disciples to the Mount of Olives, a place where they often visited. Jesus told his disciples that soon they would run away and leave him alone. When Peter heard this, he said, "Even if all the other disciples deny you, Jesus, I will not." Jesus knew this was not true. He told Peter that very night, before the rooster crowed twice, Peter would say he did not know Jesus 3 times. But Peter protested. He was sure he could never deny that he knew Jesus or leave him alone. Peter said, "Even if I have to die with you, I will not say that I do not know you." The other disciples agreed with Peter. When Jesus and the disciples reached the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus told most of the disciples to sit and wait with him. Jesus was very sad. He knew he would soon suffer the death for the sins of all people. He asked Peter, James, and John to come with him a little further. He wanted them to stay awake and pray that they would not be tempted. Then Jesus went off by himself. Jesus asked his Father in heaven to, if it was possible, take away the suffering Jesus would have to go through. But Jesus also prayed, if it was not possible, he would do his Father's will. He came back and found Peter and the others sleeping. Jesus asked Peter why he couldn't watch and pray for just 1 hour. Jesus did not want the disciples to fall into temptation. 3 times Jesus came back from praying, and 3 times Peter, James, and John were sleeping. The 3rd time, Jesus woke up Peter and the others. He knew it was time for him to be handed over to the enemy. Soon, Judas, another of Jesus' disciples, came with a mob of men who carried swords and clubs to arrest Jesus. Judas walked up to Jesus and said, "Teacher." Then Judas kissed Jesus. It was a signal for the guards to arrest Jesus. Peter and the other disciples were so afraid that they all ran away and left Jesus with the guards and the angry churchmen. Secretly, Peter followed the crowd to Caiaphas' house. Caiaphas was an important church leader who lived in a big house. Inside, he and other leaders put Jesus on trial. They wanted people to say bad things about Jesus, things that weren't true. But they were having trouble. Outside, Peter watched and waited in the courtyard. As he was warming himself by a fire, a servant girl asked if he was with Jesus, and Peter said, "I don't know what you mean." Peter walked to a gateway. Then a rooster crowed. The servant girl saw him again and began to tell other people that Peter was with Jesus. Again, Jesus denied being one of Jesus' disciples. After a little while, more people questioned Peter. They said, "You are from Galilee. You must be one of Jesus' disciples." Peter got nervous and insisted, "I do not know this man you are talking about." Just then, the rooster crowed again. Then Peter remembered how Jesus had told him that before the rooster crowed twice, he would deny Jesus 3 times. Peter cried. He couldn't believe it had happened. How could he have done such a thing? Inside the high priest's house, Jesus didn't deny who he was. He told the high priest and the others that he was God's son. And for that truth, he died on the cross. We, like Peter, denied Jesus, but Jesus will not deny us. He will never stop loving us. That was only one of the trials that Jesus went through, was with the high priests. Later on, I think in our next story, we're going to find learn more about more of his trials and the pain that he endured while he was undergoing these trials, and what the end result will be. God's blessings to you until next time. Bye.